Welcome to another edition of Chilling with Zone and Company. I'm your host, Zone, and today we have Thaddeus with us, and
Yep.
we have some gentlemen with us today, and we're gonna talk about their business that they got going on. And we have David and
Yes,
Paul.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Hello,
Right here.
hello, 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 hello. What's
Welcome,
going
welcome,
on?
welcome.
Uh, we
Thank you for having
started
us, guys.
to do this new segment where we bring in people who have their own companies and businesses, and we talk about their struggles, the things that they've learned while doing their business, and the things that that they are finding enjoyable with it. And these guys have a clothing line, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Well, first, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Tell us about yourself. The listeners will love to hear about you.
All right, so I'm David. I am 29, turning 30 this year. Jesus Christ.
hmm
Um, Born and raised. Well, I was born in Long Island, but grew up in Queens my whole life. Grew up in New York my whole life. I'm in engineering now, project management. But growing up, big influence on me was superheroes, Saturday morning cartoons, animations, just everything based around cartoons and like good storylines. So that's a big part about me, which translated into anime later on in life, but they kind of go hand in hand.
Okay, Paul.
All right. So my name is Paul Hufong, 29 years old. Um, Also grew up in the same neighborhood as David. Literally a neighborhood over, Laurelton. He was in Rosedale. It's basically the same upbringing. The way we was raised was pretty much that. We had like a childlike wonder childhood, I would say. Like we weren't in a bubble, but we were kind of in a bubble where you just grew up about like superheroes, cartoons, comics. You would go to school, and we legit made like a business out of our friends and kind of started like a comic book company right away. And we just been in love with like that passion of like story building since, and we kind of just
Yeah,
ran with it.
back in elementary school, I'd be forgetting that we did that. Paul reminds me all the time. I'd be forgetting that we did that.
What y'all
Like
doing?
yo,
All the
we used to come in the morning, bro, like 7, 8 in the morning, bro, and have people report to us. Like we were the CEOs of this company of I don't even know what we weren't comic boys back then though. Like
Yeah,
we were just like a conglomerate. I don't even know what you would call that. But we were just together and a group of us, and we just made everybody like prove their artistic skills and made them do stupid tasks like scooping girls' numbers to like be a part of the group and shit like that. Like, oh, if you with us, you got to get girls and shit like that. Like, it was just like little kid shit. But like, regardless, we kind of were still serious about it. Like, we literally did it every day. I have a comic book somewhere that has at least 100 and something pages done. Like I'm a kid coming into school every day, like contesting to do this. Like I'm doing it every day, bro. That shit was like
yeah. We
I don't know, it was
literally
inspiring.
we literally took computer paper and then just folded it in half and then made books like that. So
and you guys
Literally.
didn't take off with that. I mean, that sounds like a
I
good
mean,
startup right there.
don't get me wrong. Like our parents were highly motivated behind that and definitely loved the fact that we did that shit. Like I could tell you, my parents talked about that and still talk about it. And it's funny because I just seen them recently. I haven't seen my parents in a while, but I just seen them recently. And they were still talking about that. Like they love the fact that like me and David are still friends and shit like that. Like out of all my friends that I have, they talk about David the most. Like, oh, David was like your rival in school. Like y'all were like academically chasing each other and stuff like that. So it's kind of funny how it pairs out that like we even the same way with our animes, like he likes Naruto and I like One Piece. Like he swears up and down that's the best anime that's ever been created, but he's sadly mistaken. And it's always that conversation that always makes us like keep sparking each other to keep going. Like, yo, bro, like this is better, this is better, this is better, this is better. If you add this, if you do this, if you do, it's like a constant change in charge that like we both keep trying to take, and it's good because it's like as it keeps going, we're like this twin-headed dragon. I feel like that just is moving forward and it's good. It's like we catching like a better rhythm this year. I feel like we kind of are more motivated as far as like getting our shit in the networking source as doing more pop-up shops. We did our first pop-up shop last year, and I felt like that was like a great start to everything, and we just been motivated, bro. Very
I
motivated.
like to hear that. You know, they always say you either meet your best friends that you will have for your life, either in elementary school at a early age, or you meet them when you're in college. And I think it's a lot rarer now to find people who meet their friends at a very young age and they stay connected. And you know, it's kind of inspiring that you guys started off with a comic company and then you branched off into this clothing brand, right?
I
Um,
mean,
I,
don't get me wrong, the comic company is still there too. It's just we more so kind of lean towards the clothing brand sense to like at least get the attention of everybody. Like, hey, we're doing something. But
that's amazing.
more
Let
so
me
in the
tell you,
back burners, David wrote already. He already like has panels and sent me. I have the papers right here too, stacked
I'm
high,
gonna
where
have to
he
get
gave me
those one day.
panels to draw, like panels to draw and to fill out. I am the procrastinator of the group, I will admit, but like I said, through some motivation and some tough talks, me and David have a lot often. We need to have more often, I should say. I've been finding that inspiration though, bro, to like really create what we keep saying we need to start creating. I look at these at his writing and everything. It's like amazing dialogue, like shit that we want to hear modern day. It's not anime. It's not necessarily because you know when it gets dubbed over, we're like, yo, this is not what they're saying. I can read that he said, "I will fucking kill you," and they said, "I will beat your butt" or some shit in the dub. Like. And for me, it was just like growing up, we always used to see like ill ass anime. We grew up watching Naruto, One Piece, and all that, but they ain't have no black characters in anime even. And even if they did, they were like Mr. Popo, fucking Oob, and Dragon
and
Ball Z and shit
and
like
then I
that. Like
think
they
we
weren't
all pretty
real.
much told Piccolo was black for the most part. We
We
just we just got
we
took
we
him.
believe that. We just gotta go with it because he had the role of like step pop. Like he was just it was just a weird role he had. But pretty much, yeah. And I feel like, we grew up watching Static Shock. Like Dave
Oh,
said,
that
he
was my
brought he
shit.
brought that. He unlocked the memory right there.
That was
Saturday
my
morning
shit.
WB Kids. You don't remember,
Ooh,
yo,
the
bro, you wake up at
maniacs,
6 a.m.
Yo,
Bro, you wake up
bro.
at 6 a.m. You're not leaving the TV until 12, bro, because you were watching everything straight through, bro. Are
Or
you kidding me?
oh
talk
Every
06
about
Teen
the
morning?
after
Titans.
school programs though. That
I'm
too.
I'm talking about when Sonic the Hedgehog was on early in the morning, bro,
Okay.
straight through to 12.
Yeah.
Like I watched it from Sonic to later, bro. I used to wake up early before my parents to watch that shit, bro. They
I'd
didn't
watch.
even know I was up that early.
I'd wake up and watch the Rugrats while I was getting ready for school. I ain't gonna hold you. That was my shit. Or the
Bro,
real monsters,
Rugrats,
but
Power.
Rocket Power. Yep, I was about to say
yeah,
Rocket
Yeah.
Power be on when I'm leaving.
Rocket Power was tough.
it was.
Rocket Power
OD.
was a great show, but like I said, these are cartoons that like were our foundations, things that like you grow up on some like whimsical shit, like you want to create your own version of this, like in your mind, your own imagination. So it's
Have
kind
you
of
Yeah,
what
if
ever
you
we
s-
think
ran
about
with.
it, when
tough?
it comes to black superheroes, like until Black Panther came out, which Black Panther was always a superhero, it just he wasn't really like popularized until the movie came out. But before that, there was never really like a main black superhero that you're like, wow, like yeah, I know about him. He's valid. Like everybody knows Spider-Man, everybody knows Superman, everybody knows Batman. You know what I'm saying? These are like superhero names that when you hear about them, you know, but then none of them are black. So me and Paul's main thing was like, all right, we want to make a show where like the main characters, like the strongest guys in the show, are two black kids that are like on some like not kids, but like kind of like on an anime thing where like they're like teenagers who like end up being stronger than adults and stuff, kind of like that kind of vibe. But like two black kids who are like from New York that like are super strong and super respected and kind of create like that role model for younger black kids growing up. You know what I mean?
I dig that.
Dope,
Yeah,
dope.
like just a super OP duo that just the world can't stop.
Like Gone Killer, but on the black side.
You feel
But
me?
obviously, there's character building and character development, so they don't start off OP, but that's obviously the end goal. You know what I mean? As per shonen, huge
Yeah.
influence.
Isn't there
And we're not, and we're not far from like as far as like making the worlds and story building and shit like that. We're real close on that. We need to build a lot more so we can actually just start putting out little slides. I feel like I could create animation soon.
when you start
Also,
building, start sending me that stuff. I want to see it. I ain't gonna hold you. It
I
sounds
mean,
actually pretty dope.
we actually I'm not too far scared to say that I'm open for discussion as far as when we start telling people things like just to give us a little bit of feedback on what we give y'all, and it might adjust our story maybe or maybe not.
Make
But
sure y'all get some
I
NDAs out
still
there
feel
too.
like
Yep.
yeah, I really if you want, I feel like me and Dave could even give y'all like character breakdowns of each of our individual
Hey,
powers and
I'm all
abilities and
for
stuff, and
it.
I feel like you know
That'd be dope.
I would be
that'll
all
be
for that.
Yeah.
I mean, that actually was rolling into the next question. I was gonna ask like, what inspired y'all clothing line, but you pretty much already answered that question, and
yeah.
it's dope.
I
Yeah,
want to say I'm gonna say two names right now that y'all gonna have to remember once we say them: the Beyonder and the Warrior. Those are two names that you just gotta keep in mind.
Both of them sound familiar. I'm trying to remember where from though.
funny
That's
enough, funny enough, when I came up with the name The Beyonder, I didn't know it was an actual character until like probably like 2 years later. But he's not a character that you would know about. You'd have to be like some Marvel nerd to know about him.
Oh, you.
hmm
I mean, I do have
Yeah,
Marvel encyclopedias, and I
that's
got
what
a
I'm saying.
Marvel and DC sleeve
I
tattoo.
I do
Yeah,
I have a Marvel encyclopedia too.
The Beyonder is actually the Marvel Beyonder. He's
He's in
actually
it.
really OD. But yeah,
Yeah, I'm into my Marvel and DC stuff, so I definitely feel that.
Yeah, when you
Um,
check the encyclopedia, like the ones that nobody ever talk about, he's in there. But you know, but that's still even a greater name to bring up because I believe he's Beyonder though. I don't is he Beyonder or the Beyonder?
he's
I
probably
have no
Beyonder. I have
idea
to look it
actually.
up. Do I want to pull it out right now? We could.
He's like some. I don't know if it's how you pronounce it, omnipotent. Like he's one of those type of guys. Like exists outside of reality, can like change things based on how he thinks. Like very
Pretty much
much
for you to be like
godlike powers.
Star Lord would be if he actually accepted his power back from his father. That's pretty much what he would have been able to do.
That's
Hmm.
a little bit deeper than I know about him. I don't know nothing about him.
You know, Star would have been super OP.
X. So, well, also that's what inspired your business. What are some of the struggles you guys have been finding, or that you found doing your clothing line?
Uh, I would say it's more mental tolls versus a real actual struggle. Um, I feel like when you have a plan, you execute. Personally, well, Dave can't say this separately, but me personally, I feel like when you have a plan, you execute, and it actually comes into fruition. It's a better feel and a greater sense of determination to make you want to keep doing it versus like I don't know. Like I said, the mental toll was I would expect more out of people that were in my immediate circle to support me a lot more. If I could be clear, I thought that they would be like the first people to grab, first people to tell more people, like my 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 people to go to more people, you know? And
Yeah,
in the beginning, when you first start that out, you expect it to be right away. You expect people to just be with you, and yeah, they've been hyping you before this. Like your design's amazing. You need to put on the shirt. Like you need to do this. Da, 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 da. And it's just like once it's all there, they kind of just disappeared, and they weren't helping you with the networking or even helping you themselves, and just
I think it's
not really being
jealousy.
there.
I think it's
I
jealousy.
don't. You could call it that. I feel like that's what it tends up to be because it's just like after a while they still show up late or they make
Yeah, when they
like
see you
funny
succeeding.
gestures. They make funny gestures or say like I would buy the shirt on your back versus like what you have on the table and right in front of them kind of thing, you know. And it's
It's like
like
they're supporting you, but they don't really believe into that dream. I have the same thing. I totally understand that. You when you have a circle of group of people that when you make a business, you would expect that they would be right there with you, supporting you because like, hey, if I make it, you're pretty much making it.
Damn
But
near.
what I notice sometimes that people will crack jokes or they won't take it seriously. They're like, "Oh, you're not gonna make it." But then when they start seeing it, their attitude changes. They're like, "Oh, yo, let me help you." And you start to think like, "Wait, are you trying to help me because you truly believe, or are you helping me because now that I'm making a name for myself and things are going well, now you want a piece of that action?" But when I was struggling and I needed that encouragement to keep pushing me, to keep me on top of my game, y'all were nowhere to be found. Like when y'all
Yeah,
had y'all stuff going, I was there supporting you, helping you out, but when
every time.
shoes flipped and y'all not doing it, like
I show up with a struggle and a smile, and people still don't like. It goes a longer way, bro. And trust me, I understand everything you're saying because there's a lot of times where you could feel like you need people, and then you don't gotta say it, bro. But people just don't really know how to show up. But you still show up for them regardless,
mm,
in other senses, other forms, other ways, and you still make a way.
yeah,
But that's why you learn, like you said, you went to the army prepared already in life and shit like that.
yeah,
That's how I be feeling sometimes when I come to conversations with people, like especially new people or strangers. Like it's just not I'm expecting them to do the worst or I'm expecting the worst out of people, but it's just I never really have a strong trust when I talk to anybody or speak to anybody about anything. Like it's always light conversations. It's never anything too heavy. And it's just it's just how you move with life. Like you just adjust with things and you just keep moving forward. So that's another part of my inspiration behind, comic boys. Just like I want little boys and little girls to be inspired and love being a nerd and love doing what they love to do, bro, regardless, because it's just like people gonna judge you regardless, bro. People gonna say
exactly.
what they gonna say, rumors gonna spread, niggas gonna say what they gonna say, but no one's ever really gonna confront you with your shit. So just always be happy about what you got going on. You know what I'm saying? So if you love superheroes, you love comic boys, you love comic girls, you love all that shit, like just keep loving that. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the brand we kind of trying to build. We want to build like this little safe space for like nerds and people that just are happy with what they love. You know what I'm saying? Like just be happy with what you got going on.
A judgment-free zone. And I think it's
Damn near.
really bad that a lot of people judge a book by its cover before they actually truly get to know what's inside of it. It always blows my mind. I shit you not. When I moved to Savannah, Georgia, and I was walking the street, and at this time I was in the hiring process of Savannah Police Department. Um, I was in like the final stages, like 3 days before I was supposed to start. And I walked up to somebody, and an old lady, was scared. She clenched her purse, and I was like, "Are you okay?" And she was like, "Oh," she's like, "You're just so big." And I helped her cross the street, and she was like, she started asking me what I did for a living. At the time, I was like applying for the police department. I was about in the hiring process. And she was like, "Well, if you were to stop me, I'd listen to you immediately." She's like, "You're so big and you just look very intimidating." She's like, "But you have a warm, welcoming smile when you smile." Like, she's like, "When you're looking at you, you look very mean, but as soon as you smile, it's just different. You just have that air about you, like." Come in, you can come talk to me. But she said, but if you start barking orders at me, I listen to you immediately. I wouldn't talk back. I wouldn't say anything. And I was like, I guess, judging the book by the cover. Uh, David, you've been kind of quiet there. What are your struggles, bro?
Nah, man, I'm just here chilling and listening, man.
We
My
didn't forget
struggles
about
with
you.
the brand, nah, bro. I'm really just chilling, bro. You said what the struggles with the brand?
Yeah, or in the
Struggles
process.
that or struggles that you may have faced during the process of trying to, you guys getting this business together and getting it to the point that where it is now and pushing it forward. What do you feel like you faced, and what do you feel that you may face coming forward or going forward? Excuse me.
I feel like a big thing is remaining positive. Like sometimes you have ideas and then you put ideas out and you don't really get the support that you thought you would or predicted you would. Sometimes after that, it's like, damn, like, should I really keep going with this? Like, or like, was this a good idea still? You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes you plan to, like, say, for example, like for example, our pop-up shop. Like when we went in there, we were really positive and like, yeah, we're gonna sell out everything. And we had some inventory left over, and in situations like that, it would be very easy to just be like, damn, like all right, like it was a dub, well, it was a dud, and we didn't make any sales, so now we should just quit. Like, nah, we just have to keep pushing, keep looking for more opportunities, and keep getting better at it. So I say that's one of the biggest struggles, like staying positive and make sure that you stay positive and have a good outlook for the company and the brand.
No, I heard you guys mention pop up shop a couple of times now. I'm not in this field. I don't really know too much about these pop up shops. So I'm assuming these pop up shops is where it's like a convention probably where people come with same industry like minds and try to get themselves out there. Am I
Pretty
right?
much. I would say like it's it's yeah, it is a convention because there's a lot of times where people are like kind of networking, not necessarily just selling their stuff. They're walking around supporting other people. Um, they're saying what's up, like as far as conversation, like yeah, bro, like I do this, and then they'll say, oh, my friend over here does this and this, and then they connect up, and it's literally like a big ass
Networking.
source of networking for
I
real,
love those
for real.
things. Now, was it disappointing? 'Cause I know Paul, you mentioned it when you were briefly talking about your struggles. When you guys do your pop up shops, I'm assuming you all reach out to your who's supposed to be in your circles and then expect them to come out to show their love and support, even if they don't buy anything, but just being there, encouraging that. And I'm assuming that sometimes you guys don't get that from that circle, right? Is that
Yeah,
what I'm getting at?
yeah, pretty. I mean, it's not necessarily just the one circle, but we tend to know a group of people that or would be a good, you know, they're kind of close to us. So it's like if you guys are gonna be the ones promoting, it wouldn't be bad because of how you guys are outside, you network and you're around your friendly group. It would be easier. We're not blaming them or nothing, but it's just like sometimes when you expect too much from immediate people, it kind of deters your mind to want to keep going and keep like chasing it. Because like even if your closest friends aren't jacking you, then like why would random people jack you? But you really be surprised that strangers along the world think your shit's a lot more fire than people that are right next to you.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
it's every time. There's times I'm randomly drunk on the train working on one of our designs or something like that, and then somebody just stops me, like this is amazing, like and I'm like thank you, but like if I show anybody else, they're like oh that's cool, like yeah he did another drawing, oh that's cool.
now when they stop you on the train, do you queue up like, hey, yeah, this is cool. If you want to see more, I have a clothing line. Here's my, business card or anything where they can find more stuff. Or is this just like, oh, that's cool what you're doing right there? Do you spark that conversation sometimes to kind of put your business out there, like word of mouth, when people see that you're drawing?
Not really. I kind of right there. It depends. Like, and this is just New York public transportation. So you just gotta understand. Like with me, and especially me, I'm the type of person that like I like to be to myself anyway. So it's like when I see people kind of just like bothering me or a little bit on the train, I'm gonna just hit them with the all right, yeah, and then keep it pushing kind of thing. So I'm not like I don't know. People are weird, man. Like you might think they're regular, but they're definitely a weirdo. So
Oh,
it's
so
just
you're
like.
you're the one that sits on the train with no music playing on the headphones, but you have it on so you don't get bothered.
Pretty
I
much,
feel
bro.
that.
Pretty much.
What about you,
But
David?
yeah,
When it comes to
When
promotion.
the motion of like getting over the letdown or the temporary letdown you feel during that struggle of like the pop up shop and you don't get that turnaround. Like what keeps you going like to think of the other side of the fence and being positive about it.
just the potential of the brand. I know what we have. I know we have a good brand. I know once we get the ball rolling, like people are gonna be on it, bro. Like ask Paul, son. Like we have our own merch that we wear when we go out places. How many people like stop in their tracks like, yo, like what is that? That's actually fire. Like, yo, where'd you get that from? What is that? Literally, bro. And even family friends, like how often they like reach out to us like, yo, like I'll be the first to admit I have multiple friends and family that have reached out to me about stock that I have that they want to purchase, and I have not gone back to them, but just the fact that I know that we have that support and we know that we have a good product that other people would like really fuck with, like that just keeps us going. Plus me and Paul, like we're one of those people that like we'll sit here and say like, yo, we really want this brand to be popping, quit our 9 to 5, make that money, like wake up and just be able to chop it up, play games, talk about the brand, what we're gonna drop, and then live our lives. Like we're serious about that, bro. Like we really want that lifestyle. We're gonna work hard towards it.
I like that. Now, being at the first pop up, you guys had, uh, are you guys planning on doing any more pop ups in the near future? Like, how do those pop ups work? Like, you have to, since you have a regular job as well, I'm sure it's also a a juggling act of trying to balance out your regular job and your brand, right? So how do you guys work out like, hey, we have to work here, we have to do this, but we got this pop up shop coming up. Like, we gotta do this. We want to be consistent and get ourselves out there. We got to do this. How do you guys find time to juggle that,
Well,
make it
I
happen?
I I tell people all the time, and I don't know if I heard this from somewhere. I fake feel like I made it up, but I always tell people adulting is about it's not about not having enough time, it's about learning how to make time, right? So even though we got our own personal lot of things we want to do, we still have goals and aspirations that we want to reach. We're definitely not gonna do it by just sitting on our ass. We gotta, put our big boy pants on and learn how to prioritize time. Like, all right, I work from this time to this time. When I get home, I could spend this time to this time working on the brand, and this time to this time studying for this, or this time to this time preparing for the pop up shop. And that's kind of how me and Paul operated. Like we had our conversations like, yo, all right, pop up shop is in this amount of weeks. All right, we have to get the shirts by this day, the hoodie by this day. We have to bring it to the printing guy by this day. We have to bring it to the lady to put on the label by this day. We have to be at the pop up shop on this day at this location on this time. We got to set up by this time. Like we made sure we were on top of that. And the pop up shop wasn't something fortunate fortunately it wasn't something that we were looking for. It was an opportunity that was like brought to us by one of our friends. Um and we're glad that we had the opportunity because it's opened our eyes to see like what we could do at other pop-up shops if we really like put our foot on the gas and start like searching for them and being a part of them and making it more like a part of our brand.
Okay, Paul.
Uh, I'm sorry, the original question. I was listening to what Dave was saying, but
The original question
yeah.
is, how do you juggle the pop, or try and do like pop up
Oh,
shops with like your jobs and making
gotcha.
it happen?
Uh, well, with me, the same thing. What Dave said, pretty much. We do buckle down and literally just say the just that, bro. Like, I don't know. It's just, I feel like every man gets to this point in his life where he realizes he's not a child anymore, and you have to be more mature and serious about things as far as like deadlines and saying what you mean and not just saying things and just because it's a comfortability thing, like you want to get the conversation out the way. Oh yeah, I'll just say da, 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 da. But then later on you're not gonna follow up with your word, and then you got people like relying on you, and it kind of sucks to let people down versus when you could just really execute and live up to what you said you were gonna do. And 9 times out of 10, that was kind of just my struggle with it. It was just like my procrastination. I was fighting through a lot of it. Like I would put things off to I could do a little bit later. Or yeah, yeah. Like I was just so confident that I could do things fast that I would just try to save it till later. But it was just like, why do that when you could do everything early? You could knock everything out with time in advance and see if you make any flaws or any problems that you could correct early. And by the time the day comes, it's perfect. And that's literally what I started doing. And now it's just, I'll be waiting for a date. I'll be waiting for a time. I'll be waiting for some type of plan to execute nowadays. So it's just like, I'm just I'm past that struggle phase now of procrastination, I would say. So it's just, I wouldn't say there's much struggle anymore. It's just more of looking for inspiration in my creations now.
Now, for like the pop shops and you guys doing your designs and getting your inventory, is it just you and David doing this, right? Am I not mistaken? Are you guys bringing in
Yeah,
people to kind of help out like you guys did with your comic thing in elementary school or middle
nah,
school?
it's literally just me and Paul. We do have like friends of ours on each side that we talk to like for ideas and stuff, but for the most part, it's not even for the most part. It's literally just me and Paul when it comes to the brand.
Okay. And do you guys find it or did you guys find it struggling to outsource having your design put on your clothing items? Did you guys have a hard time finding the right company to go with to print them, or are you guys doing them yourself?
Uh,
So what I do is I go on the website and get the shirt, and then I bring the shirt to a small black owned business actually in our neighborhood. That guy, he prints the shirts. And then another lady also in our neighborhood, she then stitches the labels onto the products for us.
So you guys have a great method of outsourcing and networking to getting the end result of your products. That's actually pretty great.
Yeah, like there's definitely a way to make it more efficient for sure. But again, like me and Paul, and that's another thing. Like me and Paul never watched any videos. Like I'm sure there's a lot of videos and books, publications about like how to start the clothing brand stuff like that. But we kind of just like when I brought the idea to Paul for a clothing brand, we kind of just like did it from scratch and like learn from all our mistakes. So every time we bought multiple types of shirts and tested it out. We did our research and made sure that whatever we were delivering as a product, it was actually good quality stuff. Like me and Paul have so many samples of like stuff with no tags, just like a hoodie with a design on the shirt, like a certain size, and another version of that same hoodie but with the design slightly smaller. Like we have a bunch of samples, so we just make sure that like we're on the same page and constantly communicating about it. But we definitely are looking forward to like doing more research on how to efficiently run the brand and like outsource things like printing and putting labels on it. Like, we want to eventually get to a point, obviously, where we could have a guy that gets the shirts for us, prints it and puts the label and ships it directly to the person for us. Like we want to get to that point, but we're just, slowly learning along the way.
Okay. I mean that's still pretty good though. Like not having any real experience, not watching for videos and going out there and just doing it, finding a few people to help with that process and finding how to outsource it, in a cost effective manner. That's an accomplishment in itself, in my opinion. Uh, there are a lot of people who could have that mental drive to keep pushing through that without beating themselves up and just giving up at it. The fact that you guys started a comic company when you guys were little and still have that going, and then you guys decided to branch what you guys are doing for your comics and put it onto clothing. That's pretty what's the word I'm looking for? I can't think of it right now. It's on the tip of my
I'm
tongue.
gonna just say it's dope.
Yeah,
It's the fact that you were able to, the fact that you were able to continue something that you imagined doing from a child to now being an adult. Like, now you know what? Still having that love for it and the time to actually say, you know what, I'm gonna push this through. It stands and shows the value of your character. That's a whole it's a whole different thing that a lot of people wind up allowing the negativity and the lack of people trying to, the people that you thought would help you be in there actually like helping out. That
Yeah,
can actually take that from some people.
yeah, it all comes down to mindset, man. I'm a big person on mindset. Like, you're not gonna get anything done in life if you have a negative mindset, a pessimistic mindset. Like, you gotta be positive, you gotta set goals, you gotta have a plan, Like, I'm a very big person when it comes to that. And, obviously, I do my best me and P do our best to apply that, mindset philosophy to the brand, Like, we're not gonna get anything done if we just sit here and don't talk and expect to be overnight success. We got to put the work in. So
Yeah,
definitely agree. Definitely
you're right.
agree. And you guys are definitely
And
demonstrating that you guys are putting the work in too.
I mean, it kind of speaks to our love for our anime too, because it's just like I would think it's what he's thinking, but I think this a lot of times. Like, what would Luffy do in this kind of situation? You know what I'm saying? Like, it sounds crazy. It
He'd be
definitely
like, "What
sounds
Naruto do?"
crazy, but I don't know if Dave does it. But I mean, me, I'll be like, what would Luffy situation, bro? And it's true, because I don't know. He's a really good role model character for me. More so, why I love the anime itself is just like he speaks to like my whole embodiment. Like he doesn't give a fuck about anything or anybody else's goals or things as long as it's not aligned with his. And his shit is just I gotta keep pushing forward, bro. And I'm gonna bring my friends along that want to see my goals and see me like reach that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna make sure they reach their goals because their goals are all they want to be the best at what they want to be. Number one in on his ship too. Like he has the number one swordsman. He has the number one martial artist slash chef in the world. He has the number one navigator. He has the number one fucking finder in the world. He has the number one doctor. Like he has the best of the best on his ship. You know what I'm saying? It's like that's how I always envision my life of surrounding myself with like my friends being the best of the best. That's why I guess you would say like it's kind of disappointing to see that like you trying to cultivate a friend group from early and like when you try to lean on them they're just not there for you the way you like seen it in your head or the anime or whatever the case may be. And it's just like you still gotta adjust though. And just like in the anime, he did the same shit, bro. There was a time where one of his crewmates, and this just referring to the anime, it was a funny shit, but Usopp wanted to pretty much be the captain, and he wanted to challenge Luffy, and he was just like, "Yo, bro, like you don't deserve this. This is my ship. I brought everybody here. Fuck that. I'm the captain now." And then he's like, "All right, if you want to be the captain, you gotta understand my goals, my drive for my goals is a lot bigger than what you want right now. You just want to be the captain. I want to be the king of the pirates. So we could go outside and shoot it." And they went outside and they shot it, bro, and he beat his ass, bro. And it's just like it's historical because it's just like it's a moment like where you kind of regardless, even friend or foe, it's just like it's your goals or your friend. Like you gonna go for it or you just gonna sit there and let somebody take it from you or somebody else might go and get it. Like it's just it's kind of more self-driven thing where you wanna do you want it more than you think?
Yeah. The now you guys are currently doing pop-up shops when you guys have the chance to do it, but in the future, do you guys foresee you having like a storefront, like an actual storefront where people can come in and look at your clothing line and be taking a browse at the comics that are gonna be coming out from you guys?
Bro, I dream of this. This is what you talking about.
Nigga Paul was just talking about that this morning actually.
literally was just telling this nigga David about having a flag store, bro, and the vibe it would be like how it would be like a clothing brand store in the front. In the middle would probably be like a mixture of like merchandise and things, little knickknacks you could probably pick up. But way in the back would be the vibe. Like the vibe would be like there would be like video game arcade setup. For the more adult section, if there's like a, and I'm just dreaming, bro. So you know I'm just
Hey,
spitballing
make
some
those
shit
dreams
right now. But
reality.
if there's a upstairs though, bro, that's where I would call it the higher society, like where people go to smoke and stuff like that. If they want to vibe out there, have a little smoke cafe shop up there, like introduce a England vibe up there, but it's like a bakery kind of thing. Like it's not definitely just everybody getting cooked, but it's
Ain't
more
nothing
of
wrong with
a on
that.
the
I mean,
edible
it's legal
side.
there, so.
Listen, listen. I mean, nerds like to get cooked too, man. Nerds like to get
Yeah.
cooked too, man. You know,
I
me
think
and
the
Dave
nerds get
partake,
slept on
so
quite a bit. We're
for sure.
undervalued on certain things when we shouldn't be.
Listen, man, we here, man, because me and Dave to itself, like we were late bloomers to the game. We weren't definitely smoking when we was young and stuff like that. Like probably waited. David waited longer than me, but I took my time. I didn't even know how to roll up until I was like 18, bro, or 20, or even like I was
Yeah,
I was late
whatchamacallit?
late
Even
in the game.
even on the anime end, son, like anime never was cool, bro. Like
That
Yeah,
all of a
it's
sudden
just started
everybody
getting
in
cool.
there,
I'm
bro.
all right,
nah,
Paul. You're gonna
everybody
hate me
loves
for this
it.
one. You're gonna hate me for this one. But I can't lie. I have not yet watched One Piece. I keep looking at it and I keep saying,
Oh,
"Am I gonna do it?" But then they say there's
Who's
a
gonna
lot.
hate
There's
you for
more
that?
episodes
Oh,
in One
Paul.
Piece than Naruto, and I'm like, I made it through Naruto, and there was a lot of filler episodes. I don't know if I can do it One Piece.
But this is the thing though. One Piece actually did a favor for everybody that says this exact statement that you're making. They're coming
Who to
out
do a
because
favor
they're
for?
taking because they're doing a 6 month break right now. They're gonna pretty much slim down the whole 1,000 episodes for everybody to catch up to it by the time it comes back. So
I
by the
might
time
do
it comes
that.
back, everybody will be able to watch it and enjoy it the same way.
Well, when
And
when
I
it come
seen I
out, let me
seen
know.
I seen it I seen an example of it. A scene that took 2 minutes and 30 seconds was dead as 30 seconds.
Well, you let me know where it is. I'll take a
Yeah,
look at it.
you
I'll
you're
give it a
not
try.
missing anything, bro.
I promise you, it is probably one of the greatest animes.
You
Like I said,
you're
I
for
think
me,
Thad
you're dead
watched it
missing
once,
nothing.
right?
I like I
I
said, for
watched a little
me,
bit of it.
it's very inspiring, bro, because it's just like I said, it's just a kid that started off small. When you find out his whole entire story, I kind of just super relate to it, and it's just dope, bro. Like Naruto's cool too. Like I fuck with his story heavy too because he's pretty much the same boat. Like literally the same boat. Like regardless of what people throw to him, regardless of the isolation they put him in, regardless of where they put him at, like the monster and beast that he had within him, he always tamed it and he became who he became.
I
And
mean,
it's like
to be
that speaks to
honest,
itself too.
No go.
that's a lot of them stories though. If you think about it, a lot of them
It's
have the
it's
darkness
it's
within
typical shonen.
overcome and shit.
Yeah.
It's
And
it's
they
typical
and they just
shonen.
master that dark within or that superpower within. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And it's just like we all have that. And as a nerd and a hero believer, a good guy and shit like that, I always believe like I always have that hidden power just tucked away that I just haven't tapped into, that hidden potential.
I think we
Regardless of
all
how
us nerds feel like
much we
we
always
should be
develop.
able to do that at some point.
Nah, that's right.
We secretly wish we
That's
wake
what's
up
up.
one day and have some abilities.
Listen,
Real
even
shit.
if it's ability, smartness, you moving quicker today, bro. You just for some reason nothing's falling out your hands no more. Like I don't know, bro. It just happens. But like I said, that hidden potential that everybody wants to reach is just something you strive for. That's why I'm like now every day I try to like I said I try to be more active and more motivated towards comic boys and make sure I'm designing something towards it. I have some things in the tuck that I show Dave all the time. Like yo, bro, I want to do this. I want to do this. But it's just like I don't know what's stopping me from just completing it. Like, yo, it's done. Like I
Yo,
keep saying I want to do it, but just I just gotta, you know, bridge that gap to be like, yo, it's done. Yo, it's done. Like, and then
just do
once
a
that
little a
happens,
day,
we just start moving
little a
forward.
day.
And that's all I've been doing, bro. Like within my train commute, which I love now. It's a hour, like an hour and a half to Harlem. I get to draw on the train. You know what I'm saying? It's 2 train rides. In between, one's longer than the next one, and I get pause, and I get to, feel me, get to draw for a long period of time. And it's cool because it's just like within all of that, I get inspired along the way too, bro, as far as like what I see and what I could draw. I have a whole Subway series that I always create where I might see somebody that looks funny looking on the train, I might sketch them out real quick, and then later on I give them like a real cartoonish look, like just a character, not necessarily how they look, but just how I remember them. And it's like that's just something that I do on the side too, and it just keeps me inspired to like keep creating art and keep staying within my realms of like my happiness and everything that keeps me flowing with the art shit, bro. So it's just like inspiring yourself is literally a daily thing, but it's not the worst thing. Like I'm enjoying myself as I'm doing it. So good process.
With comic boys, I know you guys have a clothing line. Um, and from your guys' website, I see you guys offer T-shirts, hoodies. You're gonna have a full fit one day, like with sweats. Or you guys already have that in the working. Um,
We've been talking about that for sure.
That's the plan,
Shorts,
yeah.
shorts before sweats probably.
I like that.
But we definitely want to do a whole jumpsuit. Jumpsuit would be dope.
Are you
And
guys planning on doing seasonals? Like spring's coming. This is that yo our spring clothing line where you have this type of designs and get them while they last. And next spring there might be something different. We might bring a throwback out. And you guys thought of anything like that yet?
so yeah, actually that's funny you asked that. That's actually a great question. We actually doing something special that we never really announced for people, but there was a lot of people that supported us on the low, um, and bought a lot of our shirts, and we gave them a special packaging with it. and the type of label it was like a comic book cover, but I designed it and everything. And pretty much, I just want everybody that supported us and that had bought it that first time, I just want them to like show me an example that they still have that somewhere, or even if they don't even have it, but prove that they have the shirt or that they bought it from us from that season. And I kind of want to give them like a special type of design shirt for them for supporting us from the beginning. So it's kind of like the limited edition comic book kind of shirt. Like I just want to give it to those people that were like first there, like the people that like
Your day one supporters.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? And then I mean in the future I'm pretty sure we'll do the same thing again for more people that like support a certain season, a certain comic book cover, a certain whatever. Just have people keep like the merchandise and just not necessarily want to get rid of it because the designs, they mean and they have purpose behind them. A lot of people don't necessarily have a lot of, black people on comic covers, so it's just like if you come across one of those shirts that has one of the black people or the black figureheads on them, like hold on to and value that because it's just like you got to realize we don't have a lot of in this world regardless. So it's just like we want to make that special. The people that want to buy those shirts or tend to lean and support on us, like we should have something in the future, like in
Now,
the future seasons.
I think that's actually pretty dope. What
Mhm.
about? I'm just throwing it out there. You can take it if y'all want it or not. You're talking about doing the limited edition or the collections, or I say make a collection out of it. You have your day ones, and when you send out certain packages, and it's like, yo, this is a collection with XXX number, yo, keep it because it's actually like a preview of what's to come in the future. If you guys are liking that collection, that we send with the package, because you're saying you're putting a comic, like a comic strip on it, and let them
Mhm.
know, like, hey, be looking for us in the future because this is not where the show's ending. We got more coming out. We're gonna drop an actual comic. We're giving you little tits and previews when you because you're day one. Like, but eventually you will see this in the comic and then have like it kind of connect a little bit. I think maybe just me. I think that'd be kind of dope. I mean, that'd be a cool addition to your guys' clothing line. That people who are those mad supporters are also getting a little tidbit of what you guys are your current project you guys are working on that will be dropping when it's ready. But they kind of get that little insight. Not a lot of insight, but just enough to tease them to want more, to want them to
Like
keep
a little
coming back.
firefight scene or something like that.
Yeah, I'm not
Something,
gonna lie.
something like you.
Everything you're saying right now is kind of beautiful because I'm just thinking right now, literally off of what you
I'm
just
I'm
said.
I'm a marketing
I'm
person too,
probably
so I
I'm probably
definitely
gonna
give y'all ideas if y'all need them one day.
I'm definitely gonna create some in the future. I'm gonna create some Easter eggs so that people could unlock pages
And
with
I
their
actually think that is dope.
that would
I was
that would
just
be
looking at your
cool.
guys' website right now, and I was
Digital
like, I'm gonna have
code
to
or
order
something.
me something.
Yeah, I'm gonna have them figure something out about either me or Dave or about our comic. Like it has to be something related to the anime. That's why kind of this cartoon is gonna be a bigger push this for within the next couple of months. I hope y'all, we could
Hey, you
tune
guys are
back in with you
always
guys
welcome to come
again,
back to the show
and
as
then
well
we
at any
could
point too. And
show
if you
y'all
guys want to
more.
promote it, we'll make it happen for you guys.
Oh no,
Um,
Yo,
definitely.
another small little idea, right?
Talk to
Maybe
me.
possibly like a little QR code or something that might unveil like a sheet from your comic, and then that way you will have like a
that's
link so
actually
that way they can
tough.
click on and go towards your whole comic book so that they see your comic books and they find merch that they can buy from it as well too.
That's actually tough. And
So
then
something
That's
like
you
fire.
could
that.
That's
branch
fire.
off from
That is
not
beautiful.
just the clothing line, but you can make
That,
mugs like cups and stuff like that, or like little keychains, the
bro, I was telling
lanyards.
Dave about the accessories. I've been telling him like it sounds crazy that
Accessories
we
are fire.
laugh
They
when
hit,
we
bro.
he look
Yeah,
look he laugh when we see Supreme writing their name on rugs, but people buy them, bro.
Yeah, they did
And
it on Oreos at one point. Like,
listen, people buy them, bro. It's like it's just it doesn't even matter. Like people are consumers, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm not disrespecting any fans. I'm not trying to talk down on people that love to, but as nerds, we consume too. Like we see anime, we go to Comic Cons, we see shit, we want to go crazy, bro. Like people collect things. I know David collects a lot of the what you call it?
the pop-ups,
Fill it in, Dave.
the
pops.
The beep
Funko
the
Pops.
Funko
Yeah,
Pops.
I got two
My son
myself.
Dave, nobody's beating Dave on the Funko Pops right now. I know it for a fact nobody's beating Dave on the Funko Pops.
Right. I might know one person that might be on it only because she be selling shit all the time,
You
but
talking
I
about
don't.
Cat?
Oh
Yeah.
no, I
Yeah,
don't be selling my joint.
And then,
she
but
definitely
you
on it.
gotta
She sent my kids
understand,
some. She sent my kids like
you,
like
but you
She
gotta
said she
understand,
better got
Dave
me.
does not touch his boxes. His boxes are fresh. Them shit are stacked clean and nice. This nigga be having the firewood like he
he's a
be show.
collector. Let's go.
I had
He
to get
had
another shelf for
Stanley.
them.
I never even
You
knew
got
they had made
Stan Lee, damn.
From the
a
office.
Funko
Yeah,
Pop of
Yeah,
Stanley, bro.
hey,
yeah, I got
David,
mad
He's
old
done it.
Funko Pops.
David, I got
Yeah,
one Funko Pop you'll never get, bro.
what's that?
I got a limited edition of number one dad Funko Pop of myself, custom made. I got it for Father's Day
That's a
this
class.
whatchamacallit past year. It was actually pretty dope. I didn't even know they did shit like that. I was like, yo,
That's tough. That's
that's a
tough.
tough Funko. I'll send you a picture of it. It's I was lost at words for it when I saw it. I was like, damn, I never
I'm
know they did
crying.
shit like that. I was like,
I was
okay.
about to say, I only collect Funkos for animes that I like and TV shows that I like. So I only have Funkos for Naruto, My Hero when I thought it was good, and The Office.
I haven't even
Um,
finished watching the last season. I'm not gonna hold you.
I don't even want to touch on DC and Marvel Funko Pops because that'll be a collection that will take me years, bro. Like
Oh, I got
years.
one. I got a Carnage
I think
one.
I might actually. I think I might just dip into that one
I
more
don't
than
even want to
anything.
open that Pandora box, bro. Like,
That and probably One Piece I might collect. That I would go crazy
Damn.
for.
See, I only got one myself, but it's Darth Maul, and I'm gonna keep it a band with you. If I go into Star Wars Funkos, I know shit gonna get expensive.
Oh,
I
oh,
already know that shit gonna get
We
crazy.
lost David for a moment, I think.
Oh,
Probably
damn
came
it.
back in. There we go.
There you go.
that was 1,000% an accident, brothers. My apologies.
Oh, you good?
Man,
Let me see. So you both do your 9 to 5 jobs, and
Well,
David, you
not 9 to 5.
it's
I'm
not your
working.
typical 9 to 5.
I work two jobs right now. Well,
Ooh,
it's not your typical,
tough,
but I
man.
definitely do corporate catering and I work in a restaurant right now.
Ooh,
So,
bon appetit.
if I'm not part-time serving, I'm part-time catering.
Jack of all trades. Nothing wrong with that.
Listen,
Now,
man,
did you have to get
gotta
like
get it.
certificates for that? I'm assuming, like to
For what I
serve
do?
people. For yeah, like to serve
Nah.
people. No.
Personally, nah. I'll be real, bro. It really just comes with a smile and your attitude and your appearance and everything like that. Like they obviously want you to be clean cut, and well presentable and just be able to have conversations with people and just be a caterer of the service. Like you have to think of the server as somebody that's just navigating the food from your mind to the kitchen to the table to your stomach into your and back into your mind as far as like you enjoyed yourself and then you go about your night. Like
Yeah.
if you break it down that way as far as the server, it's very simple. Some people kind of overthink it because they think they need to have good conversation, but if you're really just a people person where you pull up to a group of people and say, "Hey, what's going on, guys?" and just based off of the vibe, you could just know how to carry on the conversation, then you're smooth in the room. Not nothing that needs to really be taught, I think, or certified. The only thing you probably got to be taught is probably like liquor, what pairs with what, as far as like reds and steaks and chicken, and then whites with fish and shrimp and shit like that. But it's just
Yeah,
like
you're a better man than me. So that
that's
shit's
like
tough.
food knowledge. That's food
I,
knowledge. You know what I'm saying? That's like things you wanna dig deeper into. That's if you ever really you wanna get into that bag, which I kind of slowly think about doing culinary shit sometimes, but that's later on
Hey,
in life when
I
I'm
give you
probably
some
retired.
recipes. I know I'm a cook. Actually, my biological mother is a gourmet chef. Mind you, I didn't
Mm.
learn my cooking from her, but I throw down myself. So I definitely love cooking. So I get it. But I don't drink. I really don't drink that much anymore. I never really drunk wine like that. So that fact that you know how to pair all that stuff with meals and whatnot, hey, you got it, bro. Because I'd be like, what kind of wine you
that's
want?
some
What kind
chef
y'all got?
plate
Y'all got
shit
any
you
that
be.
taste sweet? Like,
Mhm.
like I
Nah, I
don't.
mean it's good. It's good when you're on a date for sure. Like she'd be like, "Oh, I don't know what kind of wine I'm drinking." I'm like, "What kind are you?" And
Yeah,
then that's a good conversation to have. But it's
yeah.
like depending on like the type of shorty she is. Oh, I just want something sweet. I just want something that's not bitter. Da, da. You just recommend like the light shit, the regular shit that people might know and stuff like that. But I mean, trust me, more or less like it's common knowledge once you know it. Because I feel like a lot of things people don't know is just because we haven't asked. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just
True.
you'd be like, yo, I didn't even know that. It's just we never really asked to think about what goes with what. Because literally everything in the world is paired already, and we just don't know it, and you just haven't tried it yet either. So
What
there's a
about
lot
you,
of sweet and
David?
sours and shit.
You have to
Where,
have any
Dave?
education, bro, for being a project manager? I mean, that's a pretty good gig to be a project manager. And you just turned 30, like
Boy
you're
doing
doing
it
it,
big.
bro.
My career path was interesting. I got into project management by accident, bro.
Hey,
I'm
but
happy I
you're
made it
making it
though.
though. Sometimes
Yeah,
those accidents
it's
get
in
the
the
best.
same yeah, it's in the same field. Like it's still the same field of engineering, but instead of me like being behind a computer designing, which I originally thought was gonna be my career, I just ended up being on the contracting side, like in the field and stuff. So
I
I
didn't even know
actually
you
got it.
designed. I
In the
personally,
beginning of my
I didn't know.
career, yeah, in the beginning of my career, when I was in college, I got an internship at a like design consulting firm. I was there for like a year and a half, left there, went to another design consulting firm, and I was like designing control systems like on paper. And then I got laid off during COVID, and I applied to a contractor for a senior design position. But then when I was speaking to the COO, he said he liked the way I talk, the way I communicate. So he feels like I would be a good project manager, and that's how I got into project management. Literally, never looked back after that.
Now, do you think if you stayed in the design part of it, you think that would have kind of killed your passion a little bit for drawing your comics for comic
Nah,
boys?
nah.
No?
I've always been a planner, but like when it comes to like outlook on life and stuff, like where I want to be at a certain point, like what kind of lifestyle I want to live. So extra income is always something that has been on my mind. I just don't know why all of a sudden that year I thought of that day, brought it to Paul's attention. But yeah, I feel like I would have. I feel like that would have came up regardless at some point, to be honest.
So, um, as being gentlemen in the field of clothing lines and the brand, would y'all recommend it for the younger generation that are trying to get into that field or trying to or like scratching their head and seeing if they want to, like, what would you say, like, would you recommend it for them to do it, how, you know or tell them
I
like don't do
say,
it?
I say if they do want to do it, they should start from young. Like, don't wait till like after your college years. Like, if you can start from young, then do it from young. But at the end of the day, if you have an idea and you're serious about it, and you know yourself, and you know like if you put your everything into it, like you know that you'll put your everything into it, then go for it. For sure, for sure. For sure, for sure. Ain't
I,
nothing wrong with, working hard, setting goals, reaching those goals. I'm definitely not gonna be the one to ever be like, if you have an idea, that's a stupid idea, don't do that idea. Unless it like absolutely makes no sense. But if you have a dream and an idea and you feel strongly about it and you know that if you put your all into it, you can make it far, then by all means do it, for sure.
uh, I definitely give you guys I want to give you guys kudos for that because like being me, I'm severely dyslexic, so like I have all the ideas in my head. And I was like talking to my wife about this as we were sitting there. She's like, "You're very creative in certain things." It's like, why don't you like make a book about something? Like, me make a book with my dyslexia? Like, I was like, I got the ideas, don't get me wrong, I can envision the shit out of a lot of things, but putting my what I'm envisioning to paper, it's not going to work. I would have to have someone I completely trust without a doubt that I can tell them what I'm
Translate your
envisioning and
thoughts.
they can put it on a book and make it. Like, I know it would be fire, but me doing it, it'd be horrible if I did it myself. I would literally have to partner with somebody and find someone that I could trust because my goal, like I've always said, my goal, and at the end of the day, with my media company, I want I want to make it a generational wealth. I don't want to just be wealthy
Hmm.
myself. I want to be able to have it go on to my kids, their kids, and I
Mhm.
want to not just stop with the podcast and my photography stuff. I want to make a production part of the company where I'm able to take someone's book that I can envision being a movie or a TV show or even anime, and seeing if I can connect with the author to make it happen. That is my end goal for my media side of my company. I want to be able to actually make productions, and 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 bring people's stories to life.
Mm.
Rather it be movies or an anime, I or TV show. I think that is my calling, and I do a lot of audiobooks, and people always make fun of me because they're like, you don't actually read the book. My belief, if I'm listening to an audiobook and there's a narrator, and that narrator is working with that author is telling them how the story is meant to be. So when that narrator is reading that story, you're envisioning it how the author intended it to be. So you're knowing the names the right way, you're hearing the passion, and if I can't envision a story as it's being told to me, I lose interest in it completely. But if I can envision it completely, word for word, picture, everything, I want to see that become an actual movie or something. Like I've listened to Solo Leveling before they dropped the anime, and the author, if I'm not mistaken, he passed away before it officially dropped. But when I was going through it, I was like, yo, I can so picture this being an anime. I can so picture this like really thriving. And then sure enough, they dropped the anime. And I'm watching anime and I'm sitting there and I'm like, yo, they left out a lot of key stuff from the story. And I understand why they do it. I totally understand why they do it. And what my production company that I'm trying to do, I want to make it so that we don't leave anything out. I want that full story to be in there. I want you to know what the main character's thinking, because there's a lot of inner dialogue that's happening, and I feel like that is actually key things to a story. Like Harry Potter, everybody's probably seen Harry Potter and saw the movies and read the books, and people who have read the books say the books are way better than the movie, because the movies leave out those dialogues of the inner thought process of why things are taking place, why people are doing certain things. Those aren't displayed in the movie properly because it takes too much time. There's not enough, crew to do it, or the money. My goal is to start from the ground up and push that out. And I know it can happen. There's just have to have the right pieces to make it happen, which means I got to find someone who's good at, animating, or good at, editing certain videos. Like I can do photos like nobody's business, but there are certain things that I know that I'm not the expert at. So I have to find people that I trust with a team to um, bridge that gap for us. And listen to you guys, I'm like, yo, if I get my shit going sooner than you guys get your shit going, we're definitely going to be linking up and seeing if we can make your comics into a show or something. Those are like my end goals. Like talking to you guys, like my gears have been rolling ever since, because it's inspiring. Like to know that you guys start at a young age with your comics, and pretty much what inspired you is what inspires every little kid at that age. Boy, you know, your superheroes. That's what inspires you. It'd be the damnedest things, but the fact that you guys created a friendship that is still thriving and growing, like you guys still learning stuff about each other, I guarantee to this day, and yet you're turning that and pushing that into your company, your brand. You're making something. You're not
Yes,
letting
sir.
shortcomings stop you. You're finding ways to overcome those things and keep pushing, which I think that's a testament in itself right there.
To go back to you saying, being able to envision what you're reading. What got you to bring those your particular characters in and show how they got to that point? Like what brought about that vision? Like how did you come up with those specific characters and what made those the ones that stuck to your story versus, any other characters you might have decided, hey, let me bring them into the fold.
I'm not gonna lie, man. It's really just a combination of everything we watched growing up. Like literally everything we watched, from Iron Man to Superman to Fantastic Four to Silver Surfer, and then as we got to, and that was just only when we were in like elementary school, and then when we got to middle school and started watching anime, then we started getting influences from Naruto and One Piece and Bleach and Yu-Gi-Oh and all that stuff. Even animes that we watched as kids that we didn't even know were animes. Pokemon and Digimon, you know what I'm saying? And we started looking back at that
Digimon.
stuff. So it was really just a culmination of like, believe it. I mean, I know we never really viewed it as anime, but that's that anime.
Yeah.
Digimon and Pokemon are dead animes,
I got
yeah.
Digimon cards
But
Definitely
still.
was.
I ain't gonna lie. I got collected cards still.
I know I do. I know I do. I got a gang of them bitches coming to me now, actually. There's a fucking big ass binder full of just laminated cards and shit. So I know for a
bruh,
fact that shit was an anime and it held a lot of value. Not to mention, I think that shit brought about a lot of inspiration to some of the shows that, or some of the things that brought people to watch anime as well, not realizing this is exactly what it is that they're watching. You
nah,
know,
for a fact. So it was literally just us sitting down and thinking about, all right, we clearly like superheroes. We want to make a superhero. What if we were a superhero? What kind of powers would we want? What kind of lore would we want? What kind of storyline would we want? And then we just kind of, use our inspiration from other shows to, make some ideas, and then we finally came to our characters' conclusions. Even the names, those were things that we literally sat there and thought about. And it was a lot of trial and error, man. Me and Paul have a lot of comic books of like different characters that we try to, like I know just off the top of my head, one of my main characters was Catboy. That was one of the main ones in the beginning, and then it turned into some guy named Razor Wind, some guy that like flew around on a cloud and threw blades at people. Like I had a couple of characters that I went through before I was like, all right, this is the guy I'm gonna finalize on. So it was it
Oh,
was it was a lot of the inspiration from the shows we watched and a lot of trial and error.
so
Yeah, for sure.
speaking
I
of you
can agree to
guys'
that.
characters, I meant to ask this earlier. Have you guys ever, as you're coming up with like your characters' names, you ever like look up to see if they're out there, like those names of those particular characters are out there, so that way you guys don't ever get into like that legal battle, what's that Poke World has with Pokemon, like your characters are too similar, like well we've been out here longer, you got to change your name of your character, and then if you developed something for a very long time with your character this way, then now you all of a sudden you got to go and try to revamp it. Do you guys do that research sometimes to make sure that you're not, crossing that line or on that line where it could potential be problematic for you in the future when your production really takes off the way you want it or envision it to?
Yeah, we came across that. That's how we kind of discovered about the Beyonder the first time. And with me, with the Warrior, I don't. I feel like my name was Universal. I was more inspired, and it's so funny how I even came around my name. I literally wanted it to be like the Warriors, like the group from Coney Island. There was gonna be a team of us. There was gonna be a team of us though, superhero wise. And like they were all gonna be black, all of us and shit like that. Like we were gonna be the Warriors, and then we became the Avengers, and then that's when we kind of hit that oh shit, we're copying there's like real Avengers in the world. Like then the movies started dropping mad shit like that, and the group wasn't even like I guess they became less serious at the time, but we were kids at the time, so it's like it's only me and David behind it. So after a while, it just became me and David. So it just became the Adventures of, and then it's just our names. So then it's just like we had to come up with our own since we're no longer the Warriors. But I really loved the Warriors name, so I kind of kept it and just dropped the S and left it as Warrior.
Uh,
So that's how I stayed the
Still
Warrior.
tough
But
though.
I
I
I personally it's like that name like it's a double entendre, the powers double entendre, like everything about like his like my character, I feel like I really well thought it out and made sure he was 100% original. Like I feel like if I bring it up and say like the things of what makes him what he is, it's just because it's just like it's me. Like I could probably could relate or compare it to someone else, but it will never be the same. 'Cause I literally built him based off of me. and what I wish I could have had my abilities growing up. Like I so pretty much my character is like a I would say he's a gravity kung fu martial artist.
That's fucking fire.
And how that works is through his emotions, he controls his gravity force, and then through character development, power development, he'll be able to control more than just his own. And like that story in itself is gonna be crazy because, like I said, I have a sense of like I call it my sixth sense. It's just like things that I know is going on in the universe, and I just know it's not real or it's not true and sometimes like like I'm an overthinker because I draw, bro. I'm a nerd, and I just sit there and I overthink, bro. So it's just kind of like I create so many universes in my head. There's a possibility that one of them could be true. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like even if it's not happening, even if it's not true, there's a universe somewhere that's happening and it's true. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like it might not be mine, but somewhere it might be happening. So it's good to keep it pushing and not think too deeply into it anymore. That's how I think it is. Like I'm a part of it, knowing that it might could be happening in mine, but then again, it could be in someone else's universe. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, I could always be like
good.
Stan Lee though. He always had his heroes, and somewhere along the way, he always made sure he put himself or illustrated himself into his stories somehow, some way. Even in the movies, when they started doing the movies, then
Hmm.
he found a way to put himself in there, as a stand-in villain, which I thought was always creative and dope. Like, that's exactly what y'all could be doing with yours too. Like you have your character, but then you have yourself regularly just casually in your strip somewhere, which I mean, it's fire. There's so much creativity you guys have to work with. Um, I mean, and you guys have so much reference material growing up from watching anime, reading comics. There's just a plethora of stuff for you guys to go through, which is it's amazing.
Yeah, man. I'm looking forward to the process and us taking to the next notch and really, dropping more snippets for people to enjoy and chase after. Hopefully fall in love with the same characters that we giving y'all and make sure that the storylines make sense and we don't lose y'all along the way. And hope we just all enjoy the same adventure that we're trying to create and,
Do you guys have
be a masterpiece.
a 5 and 10 year plan? Like, where you guys expect or looking forward you guys to be in 5 years, and then where you guys hope that you're gonna be 5 years after that with your brand?
With the brand, I'm hoping that me and David would necessarily just be working with and towards our brand only. Like it sounds kind of kiddie to say right now, but it's still a goal and dream that like I wake up every day and the only thing I do and breathe and sleep is gonna be comic boys. Like all I want to do is just create and work on things towards our company and what can we do to make us better and bigger and network us and get us in rooms that we weren't in before and have conversations and be in conversations that people weren't thinking of having about us before and just that we're a necessity to, this anime nerd life that we could be a part of. We grew up loving it so much. I would love to, be one of the main pillars or become a pillar within our community. That'd be dope. And especially if we could
Yeah,
do it on the African American tip.
me and Paul definitely got a lot. Like I said before, like we're kind of just like learning as we go. So a 5 and 10 year plan is something that we definitely have to sit down and definitely develop more in detail. But trust me, 2025 is the year, man. You're gonna see a lot of comic boy everywhere real soon.
Looking forward to seeing that.
Definitely,
Um,
definitely looking forward to seeing it.
let's see. Um, Thad, you had a question for them?
Um, oh man. Right now I am honestly at a blank right now. I'm not gonna hold you. Not gonna lie.
Now
Um,
you found, bro. Just everybody watching the podcast, make sure you follow us on Instagram.
Yeah, speaking
Check
of
out the
which,
website.
you
You
guys'
know, we have
website, clothing or comicboysclothing.com, right?
Yes, yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
And then they can be also found at on Instagram, Comic Boys Clothing.
Yes, sir.
And for you listeners who are tuning into the podcast, do not worry. Your boys don't have you covered. I will be linking their IG and their website with today's episode. So that way you guys can pop over to their website and place orders on their clothing line and sign up for their members only, if I'm not mistaken, where you guys send out newsletters to let them know what's going on in events so they can kind of be informed of future projects. Is that what I saw
That's
on
the
the
plan,
website?
man.
No, for
That's
sure,
the
for sure.
plan. That's the plan.
Me and
That's the
David,
plan.
me and David got a lot cooked up for y'all. Hoping that by the end of the
We got
year, we're gonna have a lot more of our shirts in y'all closets.
we got some
And
stuff in the works already, man. I gotta show you. I gotta show you these. When we had our pop up shop zone, me and Paul showed up with our own like one of one designs, and everybody was just asking for those. I gotta send it to you. I think you would mess with them.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
stuff like that.
pretty
That's what I'm
dope.
talking about. Like the limited edition clothing stuff where when you show up and you're showing it and they're like, yo, that's fire. Like, hey, yeah, you like this? Hey, next pop up shop, make sure y'all come back. You never know. They might be here. But
I'm
I,
not gonna lie. It was unexpected. The idea when I brought up to Paul was that we're gonna have shirts that only we have. But then when we got there, everybody was just like so focused on them, like, yo, where are those shirts? Like those are fire. Um, so we definitely, me and Paul we definitely was even having a discussion this morning, literally chopping it up, like, yo, we gotta start dropping more pop-in designs. Um, and we're going to. Paul is a very artistic person, and we have a lot of ideas. He has a lot of his own ideas, and a lot of my times I give my ideas to him, and he's able to bring it to reality and make it visual. So we got a good team.
that's actually amazing. That is great that you guys actually have that cohesiveness with each other to keep your dream alive. And I mean, I I really hope the listeners are taking note and thinking to themselves about their dreams and what they want to keep alive out there, and taking this particular podcast episode as some inspiration for them to keep pushing forward and never give up on those dreams. I mean, anything can be accomplished. I mean, look at you guys. Started off with the comic, still have the comics, and now you have a clothing line, which I know it's going to expand from not just being a clothing brand, but something even greater moving forward in the future. You guys are working every day on it, so it can't do nothing but expand. So they just have to wait patiently for it to happen.
For sure, man. It's patience is a virtue, but me and Paul, we definitely have been talking a lot more. And trust me, like I said, 2025, we hear this year with Comic Boys.
Mhm, for sure.
Yeah, the clothing's actually look pretty dope. They're about to make me an order. I gotta sit down and actually start ordering stuff.
I'm crying. I'm
Mhm.
sending you the blue shirt is Paul's one of one that he made, and the cream shirt is the one of one that I made.
I was breezing you guys' website and I was like, "Yo, I definitely gotta place me an order."
Nah, for
And
sure,
oh,
bro.
this comic strip is also on your IG page, right? Just the picture of it, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, that is actually fucking dope.
These are
I like
both
that
hand
color.
drawn. Yeah,
Yeah,
Paul
from
went
both the
crazy on it.
creators. From both the creators. My boy Dave's the artist too. He just he tried to pass the torch off for no reason. He just doesn't want to try it no more. But
I
with
gave
with
that up, man. I'm
everything,
good on that.
anyways,
David
with
said
everything, bro, a little practice.
you can
He
take
I'm
the
pretty
draw and
sure
he'll give the ideas.
that's it. But I mean, still though,
It's
it's
still
still great
teamwork.
ideas and it's execution. Yeah, so it's not like I'm a miss with what needs to be done. So
I
it works.
Z- Zone that cream shirt. I drew that small head logo on the front and that whole picture on the back. I drew that on my fucking laptop. Have to buy me a pen and draw that shit.
It's fire though. I ain't gonna hold you.
So man, we trying,
Is that a
man. We
mask in
try.
his hand, by the way?
Absolutely.
A raven mask?
No. That his mask is on the front of the shirt. That small little logo.
Go to the front of the shirt. Oh, okay. Nah, okay, I get it now. Speaking of masks, and we were talking about heroes. Uh, I heard a funny story about Batman and why his mask has the mouth hole in front of it, which I thought was hilarious. And they were pretty much saying that it was because he was white and he wanted to make sure that he was known to be white and not out there being a vigilante so he didn't get shot at out there. And I'm like, yo, that is
I'm
a wild
crying.
story. But I sat there and thought about it. It's like, you got to remember when these stories came out back in the day, that actually could have been low key one of the reasons. Like, that could have been it. Like if you, I mean, think about it. You flip the script, right? And you put a black person say, I'm Batman, right? You think it would go down the same way? If you really think about it, it might not have. But I mean, those are things we'll never know
Hey man,
because hey, but it's good.
the
It's
cops
it's
still hated him when he first came out, bro. I'm not going front. They still hated that nigga.
The one thing that makes sense to me is the fact that Superman should have been black. Like,
there
get
is
the
a
power from
version
the
of
sun. White
Superman
people
being
can't.
black. There
Of
is a
course,
version
yeah,
of
but
it.
he's a literal man of steel. It's a whole different person. You don't even see that he's black when he's in his powered up mode. This nigga is Steel. That's his name, Steel. That's bullshit, bro.
Hey,
I'm
Like,
you
crying.
can't win them all though, right? We gotta take them when
nah,
we got
nah.
them.
But
Hey, yo, we got
that's
Static
why
Shock.
where he coming
We
from,
got Static Shock. Static
right,
Shock be out there
right,
fucking
right.
people up.
But
We
they let
got
But
that they let that die
let's not
though.
forget.
yeah,
Let's
they
not
did.
forget. Yes, they did let it die, and the fact that they had the super racist episode, which was the most likely thing that would take place if there was a real life black superhero.
No, actually, we
Like
have
there would
two
be no
Lightning superheroes. There's Static Shock and there's Black Lightning because those are both two different characters. They're not the
both of
same.
them,
Yeah, they're both,
but
and they're
both
both
of them
black.
still get affected the same exact way. They still get looked at the same exact way as
Hmm.
being a quote unquote menace. They both faced a level of racism that was ridiculous. Even in the comic book, like in the TV show, I should say, the Static Shock with that episode with Virgil Pops, like not Virgil Pop, my bad. His white
The white boy
homeboy.
pops.
Yeah, the white boy Pops. He said all that shit. It was, oh yeah, his kind being in here. That shit is crazy. But that's the truth that would happen in that kind of situation if there was a black superhero. He wouldn't be shown the level of respect that he deserves to somebody of quote unquote white importance would
You,
be like, oh okay, well he's not that bad of a guy.
you also have
But him
John
still,
Stewart too, by the way.
Johnson. Yes,
Green
yes,
Lantern.
we do have
You
John
got you
Stewart.
a John Stewart. He's up there. I mean,
I'm just saying, the fact that they have like they have black superheroes that's not controversial would be dope. You know what I'm saying? Like
So
that's a dope thing, and that's
that's
why it should be
that's
supported
more
on top of that.
that's more to the sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, just want to make sure that we reach to everybody's dreams and goals a little bit with the black kids that always wanted to see that shit, bro. We ain't gonna have no Static Shock shit. Hopefully not, but definitely
oh,
appreciate more.
do you
First of
guys?
all, our characters like Static Shock wouldn't even stand a chance, bro. Literally,
It's all about who
if we
writes the
being
story, though.
honest,
They
bro.
say. So I mean,
We being
Y'all
honest,
gotta
bro.
tune into the stories.
it's all about who
Ain't no
writes the story.
ain't no feasible way. Ain't no feasible way he would win a fight against our characters, bro. I'm just saying. That's just me though.
I dig it. I dig it.
Yeah. So
Oh man.
with that being said, you guys, since you guys are all about inspiring the youth as well, I just really thought about it. You guys have in the future any ideas for projects for to give back to the youth, to like do like a program or like go out there and like reach out to them, like start anything with them, to keep them wanting to strive to pursue their dreams by chance.
LOL. This guy's on some real inspirational philanthropist stuff right now.
Hey, you guys are
Nah,
saying the words. I'm just really trying to see how deep you
nah,
guys thought about it.
that would be dope. I mean, obviously, right now the main goal is just to build the brand. And listen, the bigger we get, the more things we're gonna do. We would love nothing more than to eventually get to a point with our brand where we could start programs that are sponsored by comic boys with the intention of teaching young black kids that they could, be successful, have their own company, follow their dream, things of that nature. So, of course, that's definitely something that we plan to do in the future for sure.
Now, I may be wrong, but I think I saw on IG or Facebook, one of the two. There is, or they're trying to start a production company with Ram by prime fuck
Predominantly.
predominantly, yes, thank you, of black comics, like an actual company. Am I not mistaken? Like there's a group out there that they're trying to launch like their own comic thing and trying to shed light out there that we can do it too. Like it's not just something they do over in Europe. Like
Yeah,
we have it. I haven't looked into it, but I know you guys are more into that field of stuff. So
they
have
have
y'all
like
looked
an
at them?
Egyptian kind of background to it. Like excuse
I
me,
think
the
so. Yeah.
characters look like they were from. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. And they had like hardcover copies and stuff, and they was jacking. You should cop the hardcover copies because they're gonna grow in value over time and blah 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 blah. I seen that. It looked cool. It just never interested me enough to like. I don't know that whole Egypt like old school ancient times storyline never really appeased to me, bro. Like even when I used to watch X-Men, the whole apocalypse thing, I could like
You
I
didn't
could
watch the
care less
Mummies
about
on
apocalypse.
Saturday mornings, bro?
Mm.
The Mummies?
Nah, did not care for that
What?
show either. All that ancient times in tombs, pyramids, sand, 20 BC, like I really don't care for stuff like that, bro. That's just me though.
Oh, I could sit back. I'm sitting here thinking now. I could literally sit back and reminisce on like some old school animes and cartoons that I used to watch growing up on the weekends. Like that shit actually makes me feel old the more I think about it because a lot of the new stuff they put out there, it's not all that. And I don't. I'd be like, be looking at it like, what? Where do y'all got these kids watching? Like,
It's
what are you
not, bro.
doing?
It's
What
not
are
at
you
all.
doing
Yeah.
today?
Yeah, it's not it at all, bro.
Well, I
I'll
don't.
be the first to tell you that.
I don't want to keep you fellas, too long. So, again, if you
We
guys,
appreciate you for having us, man. This was
Yeah,
dope.
for sure.
for sure, and you
We
guys
gotta
are
pull
always
back
welcome to,
when
to
we
come in back. By the way, on any other podcast show I'm putting up, I do it every Saturday. Getting back into it. I'm back into season two. So this would be the second episode of season two, and you guys are in the
oh
first
fire.
segment of me talking to entrepreneurs, business owners. You guys are the first, and we're
I'm
gonna
glad we could
keep
be
this
that.
going. And
Hmm.
like I said, listeners, as you guys, we had David and Paul here from Comic Boys. Again, you guys can find them at comicboysclothing.com or the same thing on IG. What was it again, David?
At Comic Boys Clothing.
That's right. You can find them there. And I am also sure you can find them otherwhere if they ever decide to give y'all the information by following them and look forward to their latest drops and special collections that will be
For
coming
sure,
out.
man. This summer, man. This summer. Listen. Oh, y'all don't even live here, but best believe you ever see me and Paul on the street, we got something Comic Boys on,
Hey,
man, for sure.
I come out to New York from time to time. I've been up there twice to hang out with David. Not David. You're David. JP and Taj. I've been out there. We went to the rooftop bar and whatnot. So I do come out
Oh
there from
yeah,
time to
for sure,
time.
bro.
Yeah.
Pop out.
So
Yeah.
next time
Nah,
I
let
come
us
out
know.
there, I'll let
I'll
I'll,
definitely,
I'll
I'll
come
even
let you
slide.
know.
I'll even slide. I'll pull up.
Y'all gonna have to mind
I'll
my
pull up.
bulkiness because your boy got muscles.
I'm fucking crying. Listen,
But
man.
I definitely I be trying to pop out there when I can. It's a lot harder. I got 5 kids, so my money be going everywhere. So
No,
I definitely
listen, man.
try. So,
Understandable.
For
Understandable,
sure.
bro.
but thank y'all for
Understandable.
coming out. And like I said,
Thank
you
you,
guys are
man.
welcome to come back every Saturday. We try to talk about some different topics, and we try to keep it really relaxed here as much as possible.
Yeah, I fuck with
While
this setup, man. This is chill. This is chill. This setup I got is very, very doable. Makes it very easy for guests to come on and chill and chop it up with y'all. I fuck with this.
I try to be
Hmm.
convenient. The next
Definitely.
time I do have someone that has a different clothing brand, though, I definitely want to try to get y'all back on there as well. I think it'd be really intuitive to get you guys to network. I'm all about my
Oh, for
networking,
sure.
so we'll
That would
definitely
be
set
dope.
that up
Yeah.
as well. But thank you, listeners, for tuning in to Chilling with Zone and Company. We will see y'all next time.